BuzzFeed News is shutting down. This shouldn't surprise anybody who's been watching the channel for any length of time. We've been talking about the financial problems of BuzzFeed. We've been talking about how BuzzFeed was never sustainable. BuzzFeed was fueled by venture capital, and they were spending a lot more money than they were actually making, and then they would just dip into the venture capital and bankroll their operations for another year or two. And then when that ran out, they tried to go public and they fell on their faces. And now they're shutting down their newsroom and we don't know what's going to be left of BuzzFeed. I think they're going to get sold off dirt cheap here pretty soon, whatever's left of it. But we're going to see a lot of this year, guys. This is the year of the digital media apocalypse. This is the year that a lot of these journos that have had the luxury of being able to use or commandeer platforms, being given megaphones to spout off their activist stuff, talking points, and get paid for it. That's ending. It's ending because nobody wants to pay for that, right? We're getting to a point now where you have to pivot to a subscription model. Speaking of which, we too are pivoting to a subscription model. We're trying to get this going. The Reef support. We're going to be doing more videos exclusively for backers. We're going to be doing some podcasts. We're trying to get this underway. But yeah, we've seen the decline in our own ad revenue. We own multiple websites, and I'm going to tell you, it's bad. Like, we do other things, so it's not the main thing that we do. And we have other businesses that are more sustainable, I guess, more able to withstand socioeconomic change than digital media. But on our websites, I've said it before, we have seen an 80%, 90% drop off in ad revenue. I am not even joking. Like from 2 years ago, things were pretty good. It was very dependable, and now it's a fraction of what it was. People are just not spending money on banner ads, especially. A lot of that money is going to sponsorships, and a lot of people are just sitting on their money to wait and see what happens with the economy. And BuzzFeed is definitely feeling the pinch too. So we're going to see this a lot. I think we're going to see a lot more gaming sites shut down. And we're going to have these digital journalists that have spent years attacking fans. They're going to have to try sucking up to the fans. They're going to have to try going to like a Patreon or try going to Twitch or something, OnlyFans. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do, but they're not going to be working for outlets like BuzzFeed. So this is coming from Deadline. And then we're going to go out to Ben Mullen, New York Times media reporter. We'll go out to him. New York Times not doing too well either. BuzzFeed News to shut down as digital media company cuts workforce by 15%. BuzzFeed News, which earned a reputation as as a crappy news-breaking digital rival to legacy media brands, is shutting down. Of course, the New York Times delighted about that, I'm sure. Jonah Peretti, the CEO of BuzzFeed, announced to staffers in a memo on Thursday they will now concentrate their news efforts on Huffington Post, a brand that is profitable with a highly engaged, loyal audience that is less dependent on social platforms. The Huffington Post sells subscriptions, I think. People are actually willing to pay for the Huffington Post. But beyond that, the Huffington Post was not doing well either. BuzzFeed had to buy the Huffington Post because it was doing so poorly. And they bought it cheap. So now they're going to pivot to that. BuzzFeed bought HuffPost from Verizon in 2020. Peretti also said BuzzFeed is reducing its workforce by 15% and is going to begin discussions with the News Guild about the cutbacks. Remember, everybody wanted to unionize. BuzzFeed stock experienced yet more volatility on the latest bad news for the company, plunging as much as 26% before recovering slightly in trade in the range of 85 cents a share. It started at $10 a share. The shares went public in December 2021, and the IPO triggered a class action lawsuit from dozens of employees who accused the company of putting them through Kafkaesque tribulations in order to realize financial benefits from the offering. The company plans to report its first quarter earnings on May 9th. It's not going to go well. The layoffs and decisions to shut down BuzzFeed News marks the latest upheaval in news media, particularly among some once high-flying stars in the digital space, which are experiencing a pullback experiencing a pullback in advertising revenue. Other legacy brands, including CNN and NPR, have undergone significant layoffs in the past 6 months. The only companies that are thriving now, well, one, if you're doing video is still doing pretty well overall for now. If you're a brand, you can get sponsorship deals. And the news sites that are doing the best are actually those that have subscription models that have an audience that are willing to pay them. That's basically it. Nobody's willing to pay for BuzzFeed. Not even shareholders. Nobody wants to pay for BuzzFeed. So this is Ben Mullen. Here's their memo. Over the next couple of months, we're going to work together to run a more agile and focused business organization with the capacity to bring in more revenue. We will concentrate our news efforts in Huffington Post, a brand that's profitable. So we will empower our editorial teams at all of our brands to do the very best creative work and build an interface where that work can be packaged and brought to advertisers more effectively. And we will bring more innovation to clients in the forms of creators, AI, and cultural moments that only can happen across BuzzFeed, Complex, HuffPost, Tasty, and First We Feast. Might not feel this way today, but I am confident the future of digital media is ours for the taking. You were confident when you went public and you fell on your face there too, Jonah. Our industry is hurting and ready to be reborn. Yes, with journalists that tell the truth and content creators that aren't afraid of corporate backlash or Twitter cancellation. I agree with you, Jonah. It's time for BuzzFeed and outlets like BuzzFeed to get the fuck out of the way and let other people take up that space, because I think that's what's happening. That's what's happening. You don't see it now. No, you see it. They see it. They see it. This is why they attack YouTubers all the time. This is why they attack certain media outlets that lean a certain way, because they see it. They know the end is near for them, that the venture capital's run out. Now that the market is going, I'm a big believer in that. The market is deciding who goes and who stays. They're going. People are speaking with their dollars and they're going. There's no more Silicon Valley monopoly money to dip into. It's gone. Okay. The whole fucking digital media landscape from where I'm sitting is WeWork. The whole thing was all smoke and mirrors. And if you're working in digital media today, you're working for one of these companies, for God's sake, keep your resume updated and start building yourself a life raft. In fact, if you've been listening to this channel for any time and you're talking to a guy who used to be a journalist, who used to work in tech, who's worked in comics, who's been around the block a few times, you're living on borrowed time. You need to be building a life raft right now. Like you need a time machine. You need to go back about 5 years and start building that life raft. Go back in time, slap some sense into your past self and be like, stop writing that TDS article, dumbass. Stop saying that Star Wars fans are Nazis and work on building your Substack or your website or something, because that's going to be a better use of your time. That's what you need to do. But I know you didn't do it. I know you weren't even thinking that. You thought this was gonna go on forever, and it's not. On Monday, we'll begin to have conversations with each division about the way forward. In the meantime, I hope you can take time for yourselves this weekend. Yeah, have fun this weekend, guys. Who the hell knows how you're going to pay your rent or your mortgage? Have fun. Additionally, I made the decision to overinvest in BuzzFeed News because I love their work and mission so much. This made me slow to accept that the big platforms wouldn't provide the distribution or financial support required to support the premium, free journalism purpose-built for social media. More broadly, I regret that I didn't hold the company to higher standards for profitability to give us the buffer needed to manage through the economic and industry downturns and avoid painful days like today. Their business model was we post shit, it goes viral on Facebook, and then we get Amazon referral money. That was affiliate money. That was their business model. And Facebook is imploding too. Our mission, our impact on culture and our audience is what matters most, but we need a stronger business to protect and sustain this important work. Please know that we exhausted many other cost-saving measures to preserve as many jobs as possible, reducing budgets, open roles, travel, entertainment, most other discretionary non-revenue generating. They're done, guys. BuzzFeed is done. Just as we reduced our footprint in New York City last year, we will be reducing our real estate in LA from 4 buildings down to 1, which saves millions in costs. We're just going to rent out a trailer park and you can all hang out there. I've learned from these mistakes, and the team moving forward has learned from them as well. We know that the changes and improvements we are making today are necessary steps to building a better future. There is no future. Over the next couple months, we'll work together to run a more agile and focused business. There is no future. Oh my God, it just goes on and on and on and on and on. And they go into all the dumbass decisions they've made. This guy better step down as CEO. I mean, anybody, like, look, armchair observation from YouTubers in Pennsylvania. We saw this coming years ago. How did the CEO of BuzzFeed not see it coming? The truth is they always saw it coming. They always knew it was a sham. They were just hoping to cash out when they could cash out, and then the pandemic happened and they weren't able to sell the company off, so they went public and yada, 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 right? It was all about keeping up appearances until you could find a sucker to buy your money pit, and that did not happen, and now the money is gone. People have wisened up. This is going to happen a lot. We're going to see comic book sites shut down. We're going to see gaming sites shut down. And by God, Clownfish TV is still going to be here because just out of spite. Going to wrap it up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later. Help support the channel. Go to thereef.support and get early access to podcasts, videos, and other content. That's thereef.support.